Thank you, Missouri Basketball Coaches Association, for this terrific honor. I'm humbled by it. I think I'm smart enough to know that this award doesn't really belong just to me, but it's a tribute to all the coaches that I've had growing up and the impact they've had on my life and my coaching philosophy. The past 31 years as head basketball coach at my alma mater has been quite a journey. We've been blessed to have some really great players, and with fear of leaving some really good players out, I'm not going to list those to you. We've also had many really good role players who come to work every day. They bring their lunch pail, and they become really important, vital factors in our success. Had some outstanding assistant coaches. Sean Kuhn was my first assistant, followed by Leon Neal, who will be in this Hall of Fame someday, probably sooner than later. But Steve Shepard, outstanding coach. Dick Rick, outstanding coach. Steve Gauze, even though he's only been my assistant 4 years and served 2 years as a grad assistant, I can tell you he's a great young coach and have been very valuable to our success. All these guys can really coach, and you say, well, they have to, because the head coach really is not that tough. I can't leave out the grad assistants, student assistant coaches, volunteer coaches, student managers. Those people make your team and your program successful. My good friend and coaching mentor, Andre Curtis, who I was an assistant for 5 years when I first came back to Evangel. I played for Andre 2 years. He taught me the value of strong competition and playing a very difficult schedule. He was aware that playing a difficult schedule, playing some of the best teams available to play, will not necessarily help your record, but it will help your program become competitive. And I think I'd like to add this, and it will help prepare your team for any postseason play you might see. There's a distinguished gentleman in the back of the room that saw enough in me to hire me about 36 years ago, President Robert Spence. Dr. Spence, thank you for believing in me as a coach. You and the Board of Administration at Evangel probably overlooked some lean years, my first few years coaching, when I was having to play against guys like Rod Gorman and Coach Walker and Coach Stanfield. But thanks for giving me the chance and believing in me. Special thanks to all the friends of our program. And there are several, and they're loyal, and they're supportive, and I appreciate that a great deal. Finally, I'd really be just wrong standing here, even though my wife would not necessarily relish the idea of standing. I won't make her stand, but I'd like to tell you that every coach that has some success, it starts at home, and my family has been very supportive and loving over these years. To be successful in basketball at any level, a coach and his staff, probably his biggest priority is to develop the players' talent as they're available. In college, you get an opportunity to go recruit that talent. In high school, well, sometimes you get a chance to go recruit that talent, but we won't go there. But the idea is to develop your players so that they become better players and you become a better coach by that investment in their skill development. We have 3 basic rules at Evangel that we probably mention this to our players not only the first day that we meet in the fall semester before we start our preseason work, but we talked about it the very last game of the season this year, the second round of the national tournament. And that's 3 things. Number 1, as a coach, our job is to get our players to play as hard as possible. Make sure they're competing to the very best of their ability. Number two, it's a team game. We don't need some guy going off and trying to take things over by himself. We need to play as a team at both ends of the floor. So play together is the second rule. And the third rule, some may agree with this and some may not, but I think it's really important that your players have fun playing basketball. I think they should want to come to practice. I don't think they should dread, looking at their alarm clock after they've had a nap after their class and they're saying, oh man, I've got to go to practice. I think they should say, hot dog, this is time to go to practice. And I think that that is important. If your players are confident and they're not playing under a great deal of tension, basketball is a very fine motor skill game, and you better have your shooters ready and relaxed to let that thing fly. Okay, so much for that. Winning is biblical. Can I hear an amen? The Apostle Paul said it this way in 1 Corinthians chapter 9. In a race, everyone runs, but only one receives the prize. So, run to win the crown. Now, he may not have been talking about basketball, but I can tell you it's important for our players to compete every game. And I think that's been a trademark of our teams, is we're going to give you our best effort. Last night, Ron and I went to watch a movie called Camp. Like most low-budget, faith-based movies, the acting was adequate. It was average. It was good. But the storyline was much greater than average. The movie depicts the need for everyday people like you and me to make a difference in the lives of abused and neglected children. Wayne and Diane Tesh are the founders of Royal Family Kids Camps, and that's what the movie depicts, is their dream, their foundation. Wayne was my freshman coach at Evangel University some 40 years ago. 43 years ago, I guess, to be accurate. Wayne was my freshman coach at Evangel. His enthusiasm for the game of basketball was unparalleled, and he had that same enthusiasm for life. And he made a very profound impact on my life and on my chosen career. Royal Family Camps, in the 20-some-odd years of existence since then, have impacted over 93,000 foster kids in its summer camp program. I could only hope and pray to have impacted some of my few hundred players that have come through Evangel that I've had the privilege and honor to coach. So Wayne, thanks for your sphere of influence. If you haven't seen that movie, could I just ask you, would you mind spending a few bucks and just going to watch that film? I think it will impact your life. I'm done. I don't know how long it was, but it's probably longer than it needed to be, but I do appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's a great honor. Thank you very much.